Hey guys, here working on the shorty after work today. I got some stuff done. I did a couple things on Saturday. I filmed a little bit of it, but I was kind of monkeying around just test fitting stuff. So this isn't the rad support that's going to end up in the truck, but I just wanted to get everything situated, and then I will be putting a different intercooler in it too. Just that's the intercooler that I had just sitting here to use for a mock-up, because we're going to use all of this stuff out of this truck on it. I'll have to put some time certs, or not time certs, can't think what they're called at the moment, but you can put certs in here for you to bolt into. There's a name for them. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I know what they're called, but I can't think of it. Brain dead today, apparently. But anyways, but I was working on, I got all my bolts and everything for doing the front control arms. So I put the front control arms in there. You'll see that in the time lapse in a bit. I had to drill out, so these two holes, being this diff is out of a 2001. The diff was the right size because I bought the bigger control arms, but the rear wasn't. So I had to drill this one out to 9/16 and that one out to 5/8 to accept the bigger bolts. I bought basically all new bolts for it. They weren't horribly expensive. They're not cheap, but they're not horribly expensive. Right from Chrysler. So that was nice to get to use new bolts. I just reused this one bolt, and I will do the same thing on the other side. I actually would have bought new ones for that too, but they didn't have them in stock, so it is what it is. I put the shock delete on, which these will be on my website when I get the website going. I have 8 sets in stock right now, not including this set. I have 8 more sets on top of that for you guys that are looking for them. And then the shocks, the shock number, I'll show you here in a second. That it's actually out of a 2010 Duramax for the front, and would be the same thing on the opposite side, obviously. So I'll do the other side tomorrow. Don't need to put it on camera. It's the exact same thing as doing this. I got the drive shaft. I found a drive shaft that was cool, with a yoke on it that I had actually hiding. So I'm going to measure that tomorrow and get that cut down and put in there. The front drive shaft, I'm going to hold off for now. We're kind of running out of time as far as our weather is concerned now. And I'd like to get this thing in my house garage before the snow flies. So I really need to get after getting a bunch of stuff done to it in a short period of time here. So I'm just basically trying to get it together to the point where it'll move under its own power. And then we'll do some swapping around later. But most of the winter, the body, that truck will be at the body shop getting the body done on it. So I don't know exactly how we're going to work it yet, but I'll figure it out with Neil next door. Anyways, I started setting some of the parts out. That's what we got sitting here on the bench. And the shocks, so that front shock, the Bilstein number, that's the Bilstein number. The rear ones that I was going to use were these ones, but I'm not going to. I'm going to find a different part number, so I won't bother with that part number yet. And then that's that delete plate. Made it a 1/4 inch steel, laser cut. I have these done locally from a place that I deal with, and they're reasonable for doing it, so that's why I got extras made. And then all the extra parts on the table. But anyways, that's what we had going on today. I will keep you guys apprised of what we got going on. There is going to be, I'm actually going to switch the brakes and stuff around back to the original style ones, because I decided that I don't need the big brakes on this truck. We're going to use them on the next project. So keep updated on that. When we start that project, we'll do that for the brake upgrade. And then the rear diff, as you guys know, I switched the rear diff out. But what we're going to do, I've decided that I'm going to do a different rear diff in the race truck. And it has this differential in it that has a pause unit with good brakes on it already. So what I'm going to do is, when we bring the race truck here to do the rear end on it, I'm going to swap this one for that one and vice versa. So we don't have to do any of this. So I'm not going to do much to the rear diff. I'm not even going to hook the brakes up. We'll be just swapping it around, and then we'll deal with it in the spring. So before we start driving it, so we can hook the brakes up and all that stuff.
All right, guys, into the time lapse. You can see I'm drilling the holes out in the frame. I was cursing at the drill bit. I have a brand new set of drill bits, but when you're drilling holes just a little bit bigger, for you guys, I've never done that. Super hard on drill bits, so I ended up just using a couple, I don't know, not very good drill bits for doing it, so I kind of had to fight with it. So you do have to drill the bottom one out to 5/8 and then the top one out to 9/16. That matches the differential side depending on what truck. If you're using the diff that come in the truck, then you don't have to. If you're changing it to the newer style diff, you need to change that stuff around. So I use new control arms, just factory heavy duty control arms, so they're boxed. I'll show you before I do the other side, I'll show a little thing. I'll show you about the rear one being boxed. Not really too hard. Make sure I put anti-seize on all this stuff, because then if you ever have to take it apart, you can. It's super easy at this point when you're on just the frame to be able to do this stuff. So that's why I figured, before I put the cab and all that stuff on there, I'm silly not to be getting all my bolts and getting everything situated the way that I want to. So makes it a lot easier when you obviously don't have a truck in the way. So get all the bolts in here. I'm running through this. I now realized I should have put the camera in a different spot, because it's not in the best of spots, but is what it is. Just putting a bolt in, so it's not too hard to do. Just jacking it up so we can get everything lined up there. Nice to have an extra set of hands sometimes to do that, but I could have done it myself. So we got the shock, putting the shock in. Obviously everything's new, so it's pretty easy to get it in there. I already spread the bottom bolt holes out, which I might do a little video on putting the front shocks in when I do the other one, just to show you guys that have never done it. But this is the shock out of the 2010 Duramax, and then the delete plate that I was talking about. Like I said, I'll do a little bit of a video maybe on Saturday about it when I do the other side. Better off for you guys. But anyways, that's it for that one.
But anyways, that's all we got on this thing for today. Like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one.